snow here.
Yeah. Let me get my notebook real quick.
I think it's supposed to rain down here in Orem tomorrow, though. At least when
Yeah,
I haven't checked today to see if it changed, but
yeah. I'm debating whether I could get away with wearing shorts to work tomorrow morning. Might be 40 degrees. It might be sunny and warm. Who knows?
yeah, it's been pretty warm here. I've had to take my overshirt on and off several times today.
Yeah, it's been very unusual. Okay. Get myself organized. Okay, so see where I put my answers. Okay. Now if I can remember what I did. It seems to be half the trouble. I think stability is going to hit me early. All right. Okay, are you already in there?
Yeah, I haven't opened it. I haven't opened up the review.
Okay. Do you want to?
Do you want to just open it up and go through that, or do you want to go over our answers?
Well, whatever you think. Well, maybe let's just open the exam,
Okay.
and then if we have something that doesn't compare, maybe we could go back,
All right.
try to figure out. I probably better open up that data file stuff first. It seems to always take a while.
Yeah, I gotta log back in too. There's my dumb login.
The BYU site went down for a while this afternoon. Did you notice that?
Maybe that was why I had some difficulty. But then I got back in, so.
It was down for quite a while, but now in my email it says, yeah, it wouldn't let you log in and we fixed it. I wonder if they
Well,
crashed too many people trying to
I
get
it probably was me that crashed it with like 6 open tabs.
That's how I roll.
Yeah. I have so many tabs I lose track of where I'm at. Okay, let's see.
Mine's still thinking about it, so.
Ka-dunk.
Did you go up to Temple Square and see the light?
No, not tonight. I think I'm gonna try to do that tomorrow. I get
Oh,
her for 8 hours or 7 hours tomorrow.
oh gosh, you better head on up there. Maybe
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what
the
I
light
told her.
probably catch. I don't know. They'll probably have some little concert going on, and probably be nice.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I said we need to try to catch that. Okay, let's see. Group 24 meeting.
Yeah, they got this up and running, but it seems really slow.
Nobody posted their thing in the notes.
What happened?
I said I'm bummed that nobody posted their group meeting in the notes.
I know. I would have loved it if somebody had, because then that seemed to really help me last time. I really appreciated that, being able to go through it.
Yeah, me too. I kind of almost think it should be mandatory, just like all the other ones, because it does help. Because if there's a small group like us, we're really kind of then stuck in the mud.
Yeah,
It helps having,
just having more voices to bounce off of.
even if they're a whole group and they're stumbling, it's helpful to go look and see what somebody else's thought process was on it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad they put this true-false question in the book, too, because now our numbers should maybe correspond correctly.
Yeah, I think it was, what was it, 1 or 2 off from
Yeah, all of these reviews have
oh.
always been off, and it can really screw you up.
Yeah, if you weren't reading. Watch
Yeah.
out. Okay, I think I'm ready.
All right, me too.
Okay, let's do it.
Which of the following variables are quantitative? Mark all that apply.
Hang on. Let me get. Yeah, I was ready. Okay. I put. Oh, I didn't write it out. Is that the same question? Because I
Number
put
2.
number 2. I put A.
Yeah, me too.
Same as the review. Yep.
Huh?
I was trying to compare what, because I only wrote down my A, B, or C. I didn't.
Yeah.
You have to read through it, I guess. Dang it. Okay.
That's what I put too, is the number of people in a randomly selected.
That's quantitative.
Yeah, because the 3 brands of cars aren't quantitative, they're not numbers, and the telephone numbers aren't quantitative.
Right, they're more code. They're more qualitative. A3, I put C. Let's see if that's right. I'm going to bounce between the 2 because I'm afraid make sure it's the same.
I put C as well.
Okay. Well, I'm feeling good so far. Yay! Got 2 on the same.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. I put A. That the median will increase.
This is the trick question.
It's a trick question?
Yeah, because the median is the middle, it's not the mean.
Oh, okay.
So I put D.
So if the median...
We would have to know all of the numbers in the data set in order to pick the median, because the median is right smack in the middle of all of the digits.
Okay. The clue was that box -1, plus it was saying median, not mean. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that would have fooled me. Skip right over it.
Yeah, because up in the question it says the sample mean was 21.2, and then it says what will it do to the median?
Yeah. Okay.
At least that's how I read that. I think we had an identical question on another test or something.
Another one. There were actually several on this review that were in the quizzes, because I went back looking for just to reaffirm what I was thinking, and then I'd be like, wait, that's the same question that we had. So
right.
I tried to take notes on the ones that were like that. Number 5, this one I got wrong on a quiz, and this one I wasn't sure. You go 50 minus 70 divided by 10. I mean, which formula did you use for this one? this is the one that stumped me because I wasn't.
Yeah, I kind of had a tough time too. But what I ultimately did was
Did you draw out the graph and everything?
I drew out the graph, and then I put 95% in the probability applet and only filled the center.
So did you get two?
2.5%.
Yeah, because I kind of felt like
So
I
I
was falling because I wasn't positive what I'm supposed to do on this one. I know this one's come up before, similar to it. I should have emailed just to make sure I understood it correctly. So you just did the graph and then took whatever on the outlier and you put it in the normal probability to come up with a 2.5 because that's what I had done too.
yeah, I mean, so 95% of the data falls between 50 and 90 scores or minutes.
Right.
And so we wanted to know less, so I went ahead and put the 95% in the probability applet, filled the middle because that left over everything above 90 and everything below 50. And then what I did is I cleared out the middle and only put the lower while the z-score was still there, and that was 2.5%.
Okay. That's the same thing I ultimately ended up doing. And yeah, because when you do that, you get 0.0250, and that's what I had written down. But I had put a question mark, like I'm not sure if I am doing it right. So okay, so 2.5%, 1 decimal point.
1 decimal, yeah.
Number 6, I
struggled on this one.
had 146.773.
That's what I got to.
So give your answer correct to 1 decimal point. So 146.8.
Yep.
I'm betting I struggled on more of them than you did. For
I
being
don't
honest,
know. My brain wasn't working very well this afternoon. I did part of these last night until I got too tired and I just couldn't think anymore.
yeah,
So I think I got 15 of them done last night. And then I woke up this morning at 5:30, and I got another, I think I got to 25 or something before I had to go because I had to be at the center at 8. And so
yeah,
then I came home at lunch, and I was upset at lunch, and I
okay.
could not get my brain to move.
Oh wow.
So, but I did get them all answered. So
Well, I think there's one more or two more that I made just kind of like I'm not sure on, but I wasn't sure my answer, but
this number 7.
I got skewed right.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did too because
Okay.
it says up here that
Uh,
it's known that the distribution of cancer spots is skewed right, and with only a sample size of 2, that wouldn't have changed the numbers.
yeah, and it's not normal because it's small and okay. Number 8. I gotta find my answer here. Where did I put it?
This is one I had a hard time on. I came up with 0.
Let's see. Okay, I had written next to it came from lesson 7, homework number 7 through 10.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find that. Of course, I don't have all my stuff in order.
Like our homework quiz. It should be. I'm gonna try and pull it up here real quick.
So lesson 7 homework quiz. Okay, let me go see if I
Yeah,
can get it.
lesson 7, homework quiz number 7 through 10. Looks like I was figuring it out, so I don't know if I had the right answer or not. I must have had it wrong for me to be looking back for it.
less than 7.
I put less than 7. It looks like that's week
Week
3.
3.
If I wrote down the right note. Okay, yeah. 0.5 is a z-score. And if I figured it all out again. I had the formula that you use on that is z equals x minus mu divided by standard deviation.
Yeah, but were we given the standard deviation? Yeah, we did get the standard deviation in this. But then when I calculated it out, it was telling us the x bar is 8544. 8544 minus 8544 is 0. 0 divided by anything is 0.
Well,
Or did I do that wrong?
let me look at the question because the one on the quiz is minus 8540, I think, or something different. But let me double check on
And
what.
while you're doing that, I'm going to go look at the quiz.
Yeah, okay. On it's the mu is 8544. The n is 8550, and the standard deviation was 12 gallons. And that is all the same exact as it's on our review. So the z-bar should be 0.5. Wait.
Yeah, it's not the same question.
It's a simple random of n equals 20. So it's a different formula. It's 8540 minus 8544 divided by 12 divided by the square root of 50.
Okay, where are you getting the 8540?
Oh, wait. 8550. Okay, 8550. Let's do that again. 8550, because that is the x bar, right?
No, that's just the tank capacity. And it says the actual capacity of the tanks is normally distributed with a mean of 8544 gallons, and a standard deviation of 12 gallons. So a simple random sample of 20 tanks are selected. Find the z-scores corresponding to a sample mean capacity for 20 tanks of 8544. So that's your x bar, is the sample mean. So this is saying 8544 minus 8544 divided by the square root of n.
Divided by what?
Or divided by the sigma. It doesn't matter. 0 divided by anything is 0, isn't it?
Well, of course, yeah.
So that's why, I think this is one that's throwing us off, because if that's the right formula, then the answer to this is 0.
If that's the case, because then look at number 9, that's where they threw that 8540. Okay.
Right.
But it would still be, well, then it would be, okay, so then if 8 is 0, then number 9, you're taking the 8540 minus
8544.
Oh, there you go. You know what? I had 8 and 9. I have it scribbled together. Okay. So number 9 is right here. 8540. That was the formula I read off earlier. I had 8 wrong though because I was assuming it was the same. So that was my error. But am I right on the formula for 9 being taking 8540 minus 8544 divided by 12, the standard deviation, divided by the square root of 50?
Yeah, Uh, and I think I did that wrong, so hold on a second. I did that. Do the math on that. So then I got to plug that into the applet.
Yeah, and shade it to the right because it says greater.
Minus 2.357. Is that what you got
Yes,
for a z-score?
yes. So you plug that in, and then it looks like I put down 0.9908 or 0.991.
The mean capacity of these 50 tanks will be greater than 8540. So 0.9908.
Yep, that's what I had.
So 0.991
That would have asked for, let's see,
decimals.
0.991. Yeah. I'm just double checking on 8. I swear I thought I knew what I was doing. So what is the formula for that z-score then? Is it z,
It's the same thing we just did.
except you take the 50 out, basically, right?
Yeah, you're using 20 instead of 50. So it's x bar, which is 8544 minus mu, or divided by 12 divided by the square root of 20. But 8544 minus 8544 is 0.
Okay, because it's saying find the z-score corresponding to sample mean capacity for 20 tanks of 8544. So they're saying 8544 is the gallons minus basically itself, right? Is that how? Maybe it's just how it was written because it was throwing me off.
Well, it says a sample mean, so it's telling you your sample mean is 8544, and maybe that's what you're not seeing. Find
Yeah.
the z-score corresponding to a sample mean capacity for 20 tanks, which is your N20 of 8544.
Okay. We'll put. I understand that. I got it.
So, I mean, I don't think it, I mean, unless we're using the wrong, but
Oh,
it's,
wait. Look at number 9 from that homework. The z, it gives you that part of the problem exactly. Z equals 0. Yeah, I got it right back then. Why am I questioning myself?
hold on a second. Where did I put it? Let's see.
Oh, I'm just pulling up my quizzes online. Are you looking at them
Yeah,
online?
no, I got it online.
Okay. Oh, number 10 was there too. Gets work for it, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, that confirmed it. Okay, moving on. Sorry. Okay.
I hope our final is going to have these.
No kidding.
I do have most of my, I have all my tests printed out.
Yeah,
I
I
don't,
actually went back and did all of that too, and used them for like study sheets
yeah.
and similarities and stuff and all that. Okay, which of
Okay.
the following best describes the notion of the significance level of a hypothesis test? And I put C, the probability of rejecting the null, whether it's true or not.
And I put A, the probability of a type 1 error.
Okay, well, let's look at it then. Lesson 9, this was my nemesis.
That's right. Oh, you
Like, not
hated
hold our breath here, because knowing me, probably got it wrong. 9, 10, and 11 were my problem areas for some reason.
10 was mine. Had a lot of things going on during lesson 10.
9.
And I think that was right before a test I didn't do very good on either.
Okay, in the summary of that lesson, it says the level of significance is the standard for determining whether or not the null hypothesis should be rejected. Whether or not the null hypothesis should be rejected. I think that's why I had picked that one.
So up in 4.5, it says whenever we reject a true null hypothesis, we say that a type 1 error was committed. Assuming the null hypothesis is true, the level of significance is the probability of getting a value of the test statistic that is extreme enough that the null hypothesis will be rejected. In other words, the level of significance alpha is the probability of committing a type 1 error.
I think it was because the question was reading best describes the notion of, maybe I looked at the homework for this one too. I'm going to pull the preparation assignment for it real quick. Because that makes sense too, but it was also saying, if it's true and you reject it, it's type 1. You might be right. Okay, number 4 on lesson 9, preparation assignment answer key, it says define the level of significance in a hypothesis test. And it says the level of significance is a number to determine if the p-value is small enough to reject the null hypothesis. it is denoted with the Greek letter alpha. It is the probability of making a type 1 error. So, you might be right. Okay, so A.
Yeah, I think the last one is the definition of something else. I just can't remember exactly what it is.
I'm just putting a note to myself because I want to go back and obviously those are areas I probably need to check on before I follow through with the test. Okay, and so for 11, it said maybe more than one correct answer, and I had put B, and could it possibly be D?
B and C.
B and C?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Approximately 95%. Now, why would it be C? Just from my understanding.
It's 95% of all 95% confidence intervals that could be computed. So there's a internet site that's called For Confidence Interval Mistakes.
Really? It's called what?
For confidence interval mistakes. And it says, what is a confidence interval? A confidence interval can be expressed as a range of values or in the following forms. An estimate plus minus with a margin of error. Confidence interval is typically stated with a level of confidence. Common confidence levels are 90%, 95%, and 99%. Let's see. If we say that we are 95% confident that the unknown population mean is contained in this interval, then we are really saying that we found the interval using a method that is successful in giving the correct results 95% of the time. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
And so then you continue on and it tells you the mistakes, and all those other ones are these classic mistakes. So one incorrect statement that is often made about a confidence interval at a 95% level of confidence is that there's a 95% chance that the confidence interval contains the true mean. And that's because
I caught on to that one with the using the verbiage chance. And so I think that was one of the reasons I dismissed approximately, because I thought, well, you never be approximate in your statement, I guess. So.
Mistake number 2 says a second mistake is to interpret a 95% confidence interval as saying that 95% of all of the data values in the population fall within that interval. So we can't say that 95% of all the data fall within that interval, which is one of those answers. Mm-hmm. And the third one, third mistake is to say that a 95% confidence interval implies that 95% of all sample means falls within the range of the interval.
Okay.
So I think those are exactly the 3 other ones.
Okay. All right. Well, I wrote down the website and I just went on that website, so that's good to have too. All right, B and C.
And I know this one because I kept getting it wrong until I finally got it right.
Okay, so for 12, I put, oh, this is from lesson 10, so we might be wrong. I put A.
I put A as well.
Oh, there you go.
Because it says their data follow a normal distribution.
Right.
It gives us the answer in the question.
Yep. I probably spent way more time on that question than you did.
Well, I spent plenty of time on other ones that were fairly simple when I finally got to the end of it.
Okay, for 13 p-value, I put 0.039. This was a rate of return.
I have 0.033.
Okay. All right. Well, that means I'm.
The investor stock portfolio worth several $100,000 to his broker, arbitration panel, compared to samples, 39 months of returns and standard. This is another question we had before.
Oh, is it? Did I write it down?
Yep.
From less than 11. I don't know what quiz it came from, but.
The S&P is known a population mean return of 0.95. Suppose you are a member of this arbitration panel. Conduct a hypothesis test to determine if the investor's portfolio performs significantly worse than the performance of the S&P. Use a significance level of alpha 0.05. So when I went in to do this in SPSS, of course it's closed out now. Maybe I have this up here.
Oh, I didn't save mine either, but I'm in there again. Figure out how to do it again. Maybe I just wrote it right down wrong, because usually if you do that right, your p-value is going to come out. You're going to get all that information, spit it out correctly. Maybe I rewrote it down incorrectly. It's possible, I suppose.
Let me get to the right thing. This one I struggled with how to run the dang test because I forgot how.
Oh, yeah. I went back through a lot of these lessons yesterday, or the day, whatever it was. I spent quite a bit of time doing them. Because
What is this file?
I wrote down
What is
11.
this?
Um,
No, what's the file for? Go back.
Okay, so
Rates of return, that's what it's called.
rate of return. So I went back to lesson 7, which was analyze, compare means, 1, sample t-test. And then you have to put in that box the test value, right? The point.
Okay, so this is, hold on a second here. So this is known population mean of 95. Okay, so it's a single mean, sigma unknown. Because we don't have a standard deviation.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So one sample, sigma unknown.
Sample t-test.
And we have to put the mean value in,
The 0.95.
not a 0.
But we put it as 0.95 in the test value.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think the first time I did it wrong, and then I went back and went through the instructions again because I was thinking, I think this is that one where you brought it to my attention, like I totally had skipped over it, like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I've got it written with the
So
0. The putting the 0 in is the two paired samples, t distribution. That's where you put the 0 in the value.
You put the 0 in the test value?
Yeah, on the paired samples.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So in this test value, we put in
The 0.95.
0.95.
Okay, make sure I'm on the right page. And then click OK, and it should spit it all out. I'm doing it again, see what we get. Okay, so, and then that's all we really need to do for this question, I think.
That's what I did wrong, is I didn't put the 0.95 in there.
And that made that much of a difference, which is crazy. So 0.039, the DF was 38, and the T was -2 and change, so.
So let's go back and make sure we're getting the right
Information.
Yeah. So we want to know if it performed worse than. So it's a one-sided.
So we've got to half it.
Yeah, am I reading that right? An investor with a stock portfolio worth $700,000 sued his brokerage firm because he felt a lack of diversification in performance. In an effort to avoid close public scrutiny, the firm agreed to settle the conflict by an arbitration. Arbitration panel compared a sample of 39 months of the investor's return, the average of the Standard & Poor's index for the same period, in order to determine whether there was a substantial difference. The S&P has a known population mean return of 0.95. Suppose you are a member of this arbitration panel. Conduct a hypothesis test to determine if the investor's portfolio performs significantly worse than.
So it's a one-sided test then, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
How would that read differently if it was, instead of saying
Well,
perform?
so basically our hypothesis is that H null is equal to 0.95.
And so our alternative is not equal to, or no, is less than.
Basically, the H null is that the sample mean is going to be equal to the 0.95, and the alternative is going to be that the sample mean is less than, because he says significantly worse. So we've got to half that.
Okay, so that's 0.0195. Put 3 decimals.
9
So
by 2. 0.195. 0.20.
Yeah.
0.20, right?
Yep, we rounded up.
Let's see. Oh, it says to 3 decimal places. So
Point
it would
zero.
be it would be 0.195, right?
No, no, no. Okay, so point, what was it? 039?
Okay, hold on, and that's the
Divided by 2 comes out to 0.0195.
okay, hold on a second here. I got what I did wrong. So 0.020.
Okay. I think I just want to stuff you in my pocket and take you to my little test.
Okay,
It helps me to
14.
talk it out. It really does.
Yeah,
For me, anyway.
for me too. That's why I'm disappointed that I can't watch somebody else's video.
I know. Because then I can definitely see where they're going wrong, but then they can enlighten me. It's like, okay.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
14, I put D. Let's see, what is the question? Oh, gosh. Here we
That's what
go.
I put. Financial economist is studying married couples in which both spouses work. Wants to compare the
Immediate
median.
tells you dependent right there.
Right.
It's a couple's first sample, so whether a particular wife is included depends on whether her husband is included. Yep, I think we're right.
Yeah.
Got an E there. Okay, 15. Let's see. I had 0.048. Looks like this one came up a couple of times, I swear, this flight one.
I got 0.000.
Okay, well then I will.
Let's see. Pressures of supply and demand act directly on the price of airline tickets. As the seats available in the plane begin to fill, airlines raise price. If a seat on a flight does not sell well, an airline may discount the tickets or even cancel the flight. Wanted to determine if there is a difference in the price of tickets listed 90 days before a flight compared with 14 days before the same flight. For her study, she compared the prices of one-way from Heathrow Airport to various destinations in Europe using Travelocity.com. She recorded the lowest published fares for 90 nonstop midweek flights 90 days in advance, and then found the lowest published price for the same destination, again 14 days in advance. Prices in US dollars are given in the direct flight costs. Notice that for some destinations, flights weren't available. So on this one,
Was this
you have to
considered the
calculate.
less than 12 inference for 2 means they're paired data, right? Because it's like a before and after, right?
Um, yeah, yeah, because we're calculating the difference, and I might have done this wrong too because I might have forgotten to put in the 0.
Oh, I don't know that if I put it in or not. Okay, so I'm doing it right now. So I go to transform, compute variable, difference, and then it's the 90 minus the 14. And that's all I have to put there. And where's my data? Oh, there would be a new column. Now use the column that you calculated to conduct a hypothesis test for the difference of means. So then we go back in and do a compare means test on it. I'm trying to remember how I did it. Analyze.
I guess the test value already defaults to 0, so that would have been accurate. What did you have?
I'm doing it over again, but I had
0.096.
0.096, then it's a one-legged, right? So it comes out to divided by 2.048.
So yeah, I must have just done it wrong the first time because I have 0.096. So the price is in US dollars. Notice. So what is she trying to say? Why do you say it's a one-legged test?
Good question. No reasoning.
Because it says up here she wanted to determine if there's a difference.
So if there's a difference, it's not if it's bigger or less. So it's just going to be 0.96 then.
Yeah, is it 0.96 or 0.096?
0.096.
0.096.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I wasn't very careful. It was a good thing I wasn't taking the test.
Well, and you've already caught me on at least 2 of them where I thought I was careful and I wasn't. So that's why we should just take the test together.
I know. I wish we could.
Certainly go for that. Okay.
No, we can put that in as a suggestion.
Yeah. I had, let's see what I put. I put B because oh, well, no, that changes because I had 0.048 before, so that's wrong because I'm not going to reject the null. So it means it's going to be C or D because if it's 0.96, is it just...
Hold on a second. Based on the result of the test, can you say there is a difference in the cost of airline tickets purchased 90 days in advance compared with 14 days in advance? Yes, because the p-value is greater than the level of significance.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Wait.
I'd originally put B because I'd put up there my p-value was lower than the 0.05.
I mean, basically,
the null was, the null is, it's the same, and the alternative is that there is a difference.
We failed to reject the null.
So we are accepting that there is a difference because we're greater. So
we're saying if we fail to reject the null, then the null hypothesis is what stands. So we have to say no. Based on the results of the test, can you say there is a difference? And we're going to say no because the p-value is greater than the level of significance.
Okay.
And the null is that they're equal.
That they're equal, and the alternative was
would be that they weren't equal.
They weren't equal. And the question is, can you say there is a difference? We could say no. we don't know that because there is a greater level of significance.
Yeah, because the p-value was greater than, because we failed to reject the null.
Okay. So C. All right.
Tricky, tricky.
I'm in trouble. Okay. 17. Let's see.
Okay, a real estate company wants to evaluate 2 of their home appraisers for consistency. Corporations important that their different appraisers be able to give similar estimates for their homes and other properties. The company selects a random sample of 10 homes in different neighborhoods around the city, independently asks each appraiser for an estimate of the home value after they receive the estimates for each home. Company subtracts the value given by the first appraiser from the value given by the second appraiser. They create QQ plot of the differences and see that the points in the plot roughly form a straight line. Are the requirements for using the desired confidence interval satisfied? I put yes because the distribution mean of the differences is normal because the data have been determined to be normal by the QQ plot.
Yeah, I was just changing my mind. I put C, but I went back to lesson 12 where it gives me what were the requirements for confidence interval and besides the QQ plot. So I'm not sure why I had put no before, but I had changed it to yes. I think I had originally said no because the confidence interval is not large enough because it only says 10. I was reading it just as 10 homes, but it's 10 homes in different neighborhoods around the city, and we're basing it off of what we see on our QQ plot.
Yeah, I think the QQ plot determines the normality in this.
Okay.
Let me see.
Did we see our answers right after we submitted this one?
No.
Okay. So it does me no good to go back and write down what I've done different because I'm not going to be able to double check it.
So for 2 samples, so this is, I think this is a 2 sample test not connected.
Okay, let me go back there. Okay, on 18? Is that what you're
Wait a
talking
minute.
about?
Hold on, I get it. Yeah, 17 and 18, so hold on a second. Now, because he's doing a difference of each of these. Actually, I think this is a 2 samples. Connected. Hold on, I'm confusing myself.
This is like that one question about the bankers from the other exam, kind of.
See, I've seen this question before too.
Mm-hmm. So the question is, okay, so what is our null?
So the null is the mean of the first is equal to the mean of the second.
And then he's wanting to see if they're giving a difference.
Hold on, no, actually, it's the difference. Hold on a minute. This is why I'm confused. 18.
Because I put C on 18.
I put C.
Okay. So the 17, it says, are the requirements for using the desired confidence interval satisfied? So on a QQ plot, it says it follows roughly a straight line. Is that what we're...
Yeah, so if we were to go back to the paired samples,
yeah,
and the requirements for the test, it's a simple random sample, and the distribution of D is normal. And I think we can check that with the QQ plots. But let's go back to look at that. Paired samples.
that's in lesson 12. It says confidence intervals under bullet point 4. The requirements for creating a confidence interval for the difference of means are the same as the requirements for the hypothesis test. We assume a simple random sample was drawn from the population and the mean of the differences is normally distributed. Let's say the QQ plot is following roughly a straight line. Is that telling us right there that the mean differences are normal?
I think so.
That's
what I think.
That's the case. Probably B. Let's see. Distribution of mean differences is normal because the data have been determined. Yeah, I think it's B. Look in the lesson here.
What'd you say? B?
I think it's B.
They calculated out a difference, though. So I think it's got to be C.
Well, that's what I originally put down on paper. Okay, so...
Because in the question it says they could create a QQ plot of the differences, and it says that after they receive the estimates, the companies by the first appraiser from the value given by the second appraiser. They create a QQ plot of the differences. And see that the points in the plot are roughly a straight line. So that would mean the null is the mean difference equals 0, which is what they want, or it doesn't equal 0.
So 17 and 18 are both C then, which is what I originally had down.
We had 17 as B.
17 is B and 18 is C.
Yeah.
Right. All right. 19, I had B.
That's what I put too.
Here we go back to that confidence level mess.
Right, and that's exactly the right answer that you didn't want to answer up above.
Well, and it was because it said approximately, and
Um,
I remember going back up to that thinking, well, no, it said approximately, and there's not going to be a chance, and there's not going to be approximately. It's going to either be a yes or a no. So that was my reasoning. But I saved that web page, so I will.
yeah.
Okay. For 20, this was the one that was throwing me off, and I had emailed him yesterday. It was like, I know it is in this particular lesson 16. Just I'm not seeing the answer, and he was so nice. He
Good.
told, he totally said, "This is what you do, and if this doesn't answer, it's gonna require a phone call." I'm like, okay.
So I struggled on this one too until I figured out that n times p is greater than or equal to 10,
Yeah, I'm finding his. I saved his email
and the
because
n times 1 minus p is greater than or equal to 10.
yeah, he said, this is a commonly missed problem. Let me try to explain. When determining minimum sample size for a one sample proportion test, you need to know what p is. If you don't, p hat will work, but p is preferable. Then your sample size needs to meet both sample size criteria, the p greater than 10 and the other one. And then he does the, for example, plug in your 4/5 or 1/5, and you just put it in the equation. So n is greater than 10 divided by 1/5, and what does that come out to? And then the other one, 10 divided by 1 minus 1/5, and what does that come out to? And they both have to be greater than 10. Anyway, I thought that was very nice of him. He wrote me this whole long
Good. That
uh,
was nice.
email.
So
But then I
I
didn't
got
figure it out. What did you get? I waited for his email.
I got 50.
Okay.
What did you get?
I didn't figure it out because I was waiting for his response, and then he sent me an email. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And then I did go back and do it.
Okay.
Oh, actually, he did it my email. Okay, 13 is less than 50, but if you do the math, only one criteria. Plug 50 in the criteria equations. It meets them both. Therefore, the correct answer is 50. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. For 21, I had D.
That's what I chose as well.
And 22, I put D.
Yep, that's what I chose.
23, 23 and
23
24.
is what I. Okay. So
23 was,
go ahead.
what did you say?
You go ahead.
Oh, 23 I didn't even get. And
Me.
23 and 24, I was like, I'm getting myself lost. I don't even know what to do. And so I
Did
skipped
you,
them.
did you? Oh, you didn't email him on that?
No, I didn't. Did you have
Oh,
to?
you're killing me, Susan. You're killing me.
Is that one you had trouble with too?
Yeah, because I did. I finally quit on that one too because I was like, what the hell? I don't know. So, I mean, I know that the the ratio of 320, divided by 750 is 42.42666. So, I was trying to figure out.
Maybe, um,
It, it,
maybe this goes
it
back to that Excel spreadsheet. Was that? I didn't even use the Excel for anything, but maybe was that a probability when we had that little Excel?
when we plug it into the thingy-majiggers.
And it was really easy. It told you what to do. The categorical analysis.
Okay.
Is that it?
Okay. Well, let me open up Excel and let's see.
Me too. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's the answer. Okay. Hey. Okay. So We really are handicapped in the right areas. We need to take this together. Okay.
Is
So,
that categorical data analysis, right?
yeah. I didn't even open that for this whole review. I don't know why that just came to me, but it's a 1 proportion.
Okay, so we decided one proportion or two proportions.
Just
Okay,
one.
hold on a second. Let me go back to the question. You nailed it. You nailed it on the Excel spreadsheet.
Sheesh.
No wonder I couldn't figure out what it was.
Well, I
I was
couldn't
just
either.
spinning
I
my
don't know why.
tails.
Looking at it now, I was like, oh, maybe it's that one spreadsheet. Yeah, I couldn't come up with that yesterday for the life of me. Okay, so N is
Okay, so it's,
50. What is X 320?
yeah, X is 320.
We only used it for like 2
N
lessons.
750. And the null hypothesis is what is it? The null hypothesis is 45%.
2.45. And is it a not equal to?
Let's see. Researchers my
That's
considered
fewer than 320.
calculate the probability that fewer than, so it's less than.
Ha. Okay. So what was the question? What were we trying to find? Give your answer accurate to 3 decimal places in decimal form. What is the probability? And where's the probability at? I don't even remember. I don't even remember.
Isn't that the p-value?
Yeah, because if you change the less than, that's the one that changes. So you have to pay attention to what you're doing. So 0.099. I'm gonna have to go back over that lesson because it seemed pretty short.
0.099.
Okay, so 24. This was the other one. I just put a question mark because I got to 23, had no clue, and 24 was like,
Okay, I put 24. I put C. Because, okay, suppose you're testing the null p is 0.62 against the pole isn't equal to. You've calculated the test statistic to be z. The area to the right of z is 0.091. Which of the following is the
oh, yeah,
value? So it's a two-sided because you're not equal to. So you
okay.
have to double
That
the
was my
point.
question. It was like, how do I know? I wrote this down. How do I know in this situation if it's a 2-tail or a 1? So where are we getting the 2? Just explain it one more time to me.
Okay, so when you have a not equal to, that's the two-tailed.
Okay, all
A
right.
less than or greater than is one tail.
So it's going to be 0.091 or 0.0, yeah, 0.091.
And you're going to double that. So does that make sense to you?
No, because if you put that in the probability, do you even need to open the probability applet for this question then?
No.
Okay.
Because it gave you the one tail.
Because of the not equal to 0.62, it's telling us that the standard normal density curve is 0.091. It's telling us that that's only half the answer. We have to
Well,
the value.
okay. So it says the area to the right of the z-score, 1.334, is 0.091.
Okay.
So that's only one side. We know we needed the two side because the alternative hypothesis is a not equal to.
Okay.
That tells us we're looking for a two-sided.
All right. So it's not having it. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it makes sense. So it'd be 0.182 then.
That's what I think.
You know, before I submit this, I'm on the off chance that our score does come up, I'm going to copy it real quick.
Yeah, that's what I've done before.
Oh, really?
I've copied, yeah, because I've copied it and then put it onto a Microsoft Word document.
Yeah, that might help.
So I knew what.
Off chance I can see what I missed wrong, I can understand it while it's fresh. That was in my, when I did my eval for this class, that was part of my criticism. It was like, I need to know what's not wrong right when it's fresh.
Right. Right. I
Okay.
think that's a drawback too.
25, I put F. Any N will do. This question was kind of tricky, and I spent more time on it than I probably should have. Is that what you got?
I put A.
All right. Explain yourself.
Suppose you are a dog breeder and you want to use a confidence interval to estimate the true mean of fertility levels of purebred Cocker Spaniels. It is known that the distribution of the Cocker Spaniels is normal.
That's got to be over 30.
How many measurements must you have in order to be sure that the sampling distribution X bar is normal?
I've taken it from lesson 17.
Why are you saying 17? We're talking about X bar and sampling distributions, which is like lesson 5 or something like that.
Oh, I was going off the valid requirements. That is from before, huh? Okay, well, we won't even question it because I was reading into it a lot further than I should have.
Well, when you're in lesson 17, isn't lesson 17 is the one that we just did on, where's my thing here?
Well, it was about p-hats.
Isn't lesson 17 about, huh?
It was about p-hats and confidence intervals and valid requirements for the +4.
Right, but you got to look up into our question as to what it's asking us about. And it doesn't mention anything about p-hat.
Yeah, that's going to be my downfall.
So you got to make sure you look in the question to see what it's asking you about, because here it's asking you about X bar and sampling distribution of X bar, and what's the normality of that. And that goes back into one sample known with sigma known.
Okay.
And the distribution is normal, and that's when we go back into central limit theorem and law of large numbers, and I think that means I think the one that is the greater than 30.
Okay, way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah, I do. It's exact. You hit the nail on the head as I just skip right past the X bar, thinking, oh, this is that one where it's tricky because all it's got all these answers, and let me see, without reading it. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's
Okay.
confidently go into number 26.
So 26.
I had D.
I put C. So a study is planned to compare the proportion of men who dislike anchovies with the proportion of women who dislike anchovies. The study seeks to determine if the proportions of men and women who like them are different. A sample of 41 men was taken, and the p-hat estimate for the true proportion of men determined to be 0.67. P-hat for the women was 0.84. Are the requirements satisfied to perform this hypothesis test? Um, and I put that both populations were normally distributed. So let's see.
I'm getting to the lesson that I was referring to see if I was even, maybe I wasn't in the right ballpark like I was last question. I had down that I was looking at lesson 18, but that's 18. There.
And I'm a little curious because I didn't write out calculations. So,
Well, I had written down, what are we on, 26? Okay, so I'd put down N1 is 41 and P1 is 0.67, so that's the men. And I put N2 is 56 and P2 is 0.84, that was the women.
okay, so let's see.
So then is it just a matter, like the other one, of just plugging it in of N1 times P1, and is that greater than 10? Greater than or equal to 10? And doing it for all of them?
Hold on a minute.
Okay, so I took it from lesson 18, inference for two proportions, and then checking requirements for the hypothesis test.
Okay, so this is the one then it's like,
You have to plug them in, kind of like that one that he had emailed me back on. You just have to plug it in, right? You have to see if all the numbers are greater than 10.
yeah, but no, it's for two proportions. It says N1 is greater than or equal to 5 for a confidence interval. N2 is greater than or equal to 5 for a confidence interval. Yeah, and the hypothesis test is N times P. is greater than or equal to 10, okay, so let's go back. Hold on a minute.
When I did all the calculations, if I did even the right thing, it was the women's, the last plugin I did, it came out to less than 10, and so that's why it put D.
And we're on question 26?
Yeah.
You're on 26.
What was that? Sorry.
I'll go with you on D for 26.
I better be right. Okay, so
Yeah, Susan, you better be right. No, I'm glad you caught that because I was confused on that because of the P hat. So
well, it's funny that I would get that one, but the one above it I wouldn't get, and it's essentially I'm trying to take it from the same lesson, and it was way back. So, you know, I do really well in algebra. Not in this type of story problem nightmare.
yeah.
For me, the comprehension is like, now what? Why are
Yeah,
you
well, I've started to catch the pattern. And so if I can I'm going to have quite a bit of time to study tomorrow, and I'm going to have like all day on Sunday after church. But that's what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to go through each one of these different tests because now I've figured out kind of the kinds of questions that are being asked are revolving around what are the requirements. I mean, and he's been saying this and stuff, but it's just hard to keep it all straight, so I need to try to reduce it down onto,
Yeah.
one piece of paper. What are the requirements? What is going to be the null? You know, one-sided or two-sided, you know, proportions. It's just trying to keep them all straight. And at this point, they're all running,
Together.
mashing together. Yeah, that's why I totally drew a blank on that one earlier. And you hit it right on the head with the Excel spreadsheet. I haven't even opened up that Excel
Oh,
spreadsheet.
I haven't either, and
I totally forgot it even existed.
oh, me too, and tonight for some reason it clicked, so it didn't even. Yeah,
Well, that's where I thank the angels, because I think that's where the angels help us.
give you a nudge.
I think sometimes they're screaming in our ear, Excel! It's in Excel!
But just listen.
And we're just so caught up on how do I do this, we can't hear them.
Okay.
They probably just sit there and laugh at us.
Oh, shoot.
All right, 27.
Well, let's see what I have. I had D again. Let's see, where am I at? 27D. Coming
I
from.
had B.
Okay, well,
A study was conducted to measure the effectiveness of a diet program that claims to help manage weight. Subjects were randomly selected to participate. Before the beginning of the program, each participant was given a score based on his or her fitness level. After 6 months of following the diet, each participant received another score. The study wanted to test whether there was a difference between the before and after scores.
so you're basing off the D.
That's what I did.
Okay, because no, it's me
Because we're not looking.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Well, I was taking it from. I'd skipped over the word difference, basically. So, as you're reading it, you can see it already.
Well, and the P1 and P2, we don't really have two groups. We have one group that did two things. Yeah, I think it's the difference between the before and after scores is the clue.
Okay, so it's one group. Yeah, I need to obviously get better at reading looking for the clues in the question. Because as you're reading it to me, I was like, oh, it probably is. They're talking about the difference. All right, so B. 28, I had.
Let me this re. There is a difference between before and after scores. What on the P1 is equal to P2? That's two proportions. We're not dealing with proportions in here. Yeah, I think it's B.
No, I think you're right. Because we're not talking about means, we're not talking about proportion.
Yeah, and the P1 is equal to P2 is the two proportions hypothesis test. And we're not talking about proportions or percentages. So
Yeah.
it can't be D.
And that's even on my cheat sheet right here, too.
And we're not talking about means because
Just asked if there's a difference before and after.
yeah, I think it's D.
Okay.
So 28.
28. This one I had put C, but I had B as a question mark.
And I put A.
Oh, great.
So, okay, Weight Watchers wanted to predict. I had to look this up too. I had to read up on this one. Weight Watchers wanted to predict how much weight a client would lose if they followed a prescribed exercise program in addition to their diet. This is the one about the slope. Volunteers were randomly divided into two groups. One group dieted but didn't exercise, the other group dieted and followed the exercise program. For the exercise group, they used a linear regression with percent compliance with the exercise program as the explanatory variable and pounds lost in 3 months as the response variable. One of the clients was told that his residual was 5.5 pounds. So the residual is what was the real measurement minus what was the predicted measurement. It's the difference between what was recorded and what was predicted.
So his actual, so we don't say his actual, this was just, we barely had this lesson.
This was this last lesson. And I went back and I kind of really read this through. So, let me see. Lesson, is it
Lesson
24
22, is it 22?
or 23?
Okay.
Hold on a second. Inference for bivariate.
Three.
I think it's the one prior to this.
The 23.
22.
Oh, 22.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on a second. What is yeah, residual equals y minus y hat equals y minus b naught plus b1 times x. So residual is the difference. I'm down in the summary of lesson 23. A residual is the difference between the observed value of y for a given x and the predicted value of y on the regression line for the same x. It can be expressed as, so the residual is the difference between the observed value and the predicted value. So that's what the 5.5 pounds was. So how I read that is that he was weight something, and they had predicted he was going to lose weight something else, and the difference is the residual, the 5.5 pounds. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. So his predicted weight loss was 5.5 pounds higher.
Than his actual. That's kind of what I'm reading it.
Okay.
So residual is the difference between his observed value minus the predicted value.
So the 5 pounds higher minus the actual weight loss.
So hold on a second. So $25 minus 20. So
Observed value. No, I think you're right.
hold on a minute. Well, his residual was a positive number, so that means his weight had to be higher than. So I think it's B. Well, now that I rethink it, so if his observed weight was lower than the predicted weight, it would be a minus 5.5 pounds.
You get me talked into A, and then okay.
I know. I'm sorry. But I mean, okay, so go back and look at the bottom of lesson 23.
Okay, I'm looking at it.
The residual is the difference between the observed value of y, that's his weight for a given x, and the predicted value of y, that's what they thought he was going to weigh. And 5.5 is a positive number. So that means his predicted value had to be lower. So I'm going to give you a number. So say he lost 25 pounds. We'll make it easy, 25.5 pounds, or whatever, 25 pounds. If we wanted a residual of 5.5 pounds, then that means the predicted value would have to be
30.
25 minus, it would have to be minus 20. 25 minus 20
to end up with 5.5.
gives us a 5.5 positive number. If it was 20 pounds he'd lost and 25 they predicted, 20 minus 25 is a minus 5 pounds. Does that make sense?
One client was told that his residual was 5.5 pounds. So it was a positive, so he lost more than expected. So his actual weight loss was higher. His observed value was higher than is predicted.
I think so.
So B.
Yeah, and don't kill me if I'm wrong, but that's...
Well, no, that was the in line when I had written it down. I put C, but in parentheses I put B question mark because that was how I had read that lesson. I get doing these, and I think I know it, and then I'm like, oh, obviously.
Well, I know it wouldn't be C because his actual weight loss was 5.5 5.5 pounds higher than it would have been if he didn't exercise, because that's not the question. We're talking about the residual. Do you follow me on that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
We're putting a B on it, and
Okay. 29. For the study in question 30,
maybe I mean 28.
the B1 of the regression line was 5 pounds. Interpret the statistic. So 29.
I think they mean 28 for the study in question 30. What?
Well, yeah. It doesn't matter. It still is giving us the B1.
Yeah, because if you look at the review,
Which is slope. So the slope was 5 pounds. And it says interpret this statistic. What did you put?
it's B with no backing to Y. I gotta remember. But I wrote down and let me figure out why.
Okay, so B1 is a slope.
Right.
And we got to go back to look at what a slope is.
Well, that was the B naught or B0 plus B1 x.
So slope was put in like lesson 22, I think.
Yeah.
So let's go back to 22.
So y hat equals B0 plus B1 times x. So B1, the slope is, what is it asking?
Come down to I will get it to you in just a second. Okay, so down in 2.4, go by the crocodile picture.
Okay, I'm there, and it has the y equals negative 18.274.
Yeah, and go down below where it says body length with the hat over it.
Yeah.
Is minus, okay, it says the slope of the regression equation is 7.660. This means that for each 1 unit increase in x, we expect a corresponding increase in y of 7.66 units. For every additional centimeter of head length, we expect that an additional 7.66 centimeters of body length. That's the definition of slope. For each unit increase in x, we expect a corresponding increase of y. So when we go back to this question, if I can get to the right tab, it's somewhere here. The B1, which is the slope of the regression, was 5 pounds. Interpret this statistic. As a percent compliance goes up by 1%, on average, 5 pounds are lost in 3 months.
Yeah, because that's up in the question.
Well, it's not. It's just that's the definition of slope.
Yeah, because up in the question, it kind of the verbiage is the same as far as, but it goes with the definition.
It's with every increase of one, there's an expected increase of this much is the slope of the other. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
Okay.
Note on that one.
Okay, 30.
On a scatter plot, creating a scatter plot, a residual plot, and a QQ plot, which of the 5 assumptions about linear regression are being checked? Check all that apply, and I had put all of them when I was looking at my little chart.
Okay, we had this discussion on our last homework quiz.
The same one?
Yep.
Okay.
So you've still not got it straight, and it's one of the very last lessons that we went over, which is we have the 5 rules,
Right.
but remember 2 of them we can't calculate.
Right, that's the like 4 and 5 or whatever.
Well, which 2 can't we calculate?
Offhand, I don't know. X's are known constants and observations are independent.
Okay, so we can't use a scatter plot, a residual plot, or a QQ plot.
Because up in the question it says which ones are being checked.
Right. Right. So with the scatter plot, we're looking for residuals are normally distributed. Or a scatter plot, we're looking for the linear relationship between x and y. The residual plot is showing us the residuals are normally distributed, and a QQ plot is giving us the variance of the error term. The other 2 we just have to assume are correct because we can't check them.
So, okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, it makes sense. I was going off of basically, do you know
the 5 rules?
Yeah, not that it's asking me which ones when you're checking. Like it
Yeah,
says.
I think if you look up our very last quiz, you'll find this exact answer.
On the quiz, huh?
I think so. Let's look. It was 23. Let's see, where am I? Portal.
In our group meeting or homework?
Our group meeting, because you and I discussed it. Let's see. 12.
Yep, it's number 8. It's the same exact.
Yeah, same exact. We just because as you and I had a discussion, you did the same thing.
Well, obviously it's
not stuck. So do I need to go over the if the P is low, reject the null?
No, that one will go to my that one will go to my grave.
So remember that we can't check for the independent and we can't check for the X measurement. We have to assume they're true.
Okay.
All right, let's see. And I always get really nervous when I be confident because I feel like then I'm going to be overconfident and I'm going to lead you down the wrong path like I did earlier and change my mind.
Well, you know, I have sparks of brilliance, and then the rest of the time it's like, what? I thought I was thorough and I thought I knew it. No, I just didn't read it carefully. So.
Okay, so 31. So this is where I'm going to start probably going a little downhill. So let's see. What did you get for 31?
Group quiz. I'm just putting myself a note here real quick. 31 at 0.780.
That's what I got too.
Oh, hallelujah. Let me put that in. We'll keep on going. Oh, see, that flight one came back again. Jeez.
Yeah.
I know. I was irritated. I was like, I had to go back in and open it up again after I
Closed it out.
Yeah. 32. I put B. There was a fairly strong positive.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Okay, 33. I had y equals 115.650 plus 0.627x. So
0.650. I have 0.640.
Well, did you save it by chance?
I'll look and see. And then B1 was 0.627.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Okay, so hold on a second. Let me look. I have under B 115.640, and under 90 days is 0.627.
Well, maybe I didn't write it correctly. Because I can't be that close and have part of it right and part of it wrong. So if you're looking at the data, we'll just trust the data.
Yeah, I mean, this is the regression. I mean, unless I ran it wrong, but...
Well, what did you have for 34? Oh, well, 34 for if I plugged in $200, it was came out with 240.97927.
I have 241.
Well, we have to go up to the 241 even.
I got no, it's 241.1.
I better run it again then.
Because when you add it up manually, the 115.640 plus 0.627 x, which was the 200, plus e, which was the 0.054, gives you, did you leave off the e?
Maybe that's what I did.
Because I ran it in the software, and then I double-checked it with the manual equation.
Yeah, I didn't double check it with the manual, so.
Oh,
That stinks. That is ahead. Okay, so what does y equal then?
I put 241.1 because it asked for one decimal. So did you know how to do a prediction? Where you put your number down at the bottom?
in the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go into the, yeah, you put the 200 in and then you go back and run and analyze it again and you go back to that page and it's there, and that's what was in my column was 240.979.
Yeah, that was what was in the column, 240.979. But if you
Right.
round it up to the one decimal, it's 240.1.
Oh, 240.1 or 241?
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
241.0?
Yeah, that's tricky. Hold on.
241.0. Oh, I had it. Okay, I was right on.
That was one that I was gonna. That was one that I was gonna ask him about. That's what I know what I did is I got the. They had us write out the equation. Maybe I did that wrong. So
Is that what you came out with, though, in that column?
in the column, I got 240.979.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we are on the same page. I just must have miswrote my back up there in 33, the 115 point.
650.
Yeah. Okay, so 34, it came out to 240.979, but rounding it up to one decimal, you got to make that 9 a 0 and pull the 1 over. So you get 241.0. Is that right?
I think so.
Okay. All right, now I'm feeling a little better about that question.
I think that 241.0. And if we get that wrong, I'm going to go to bat on it because it's confusing. Because if you do the other equation with the little epsilon,
Yeah.
it comes to 241.1.
Oh, okay. So for 35, the lower I had 0.518 and upper 0.735.
That's what I had. 0.518.
Hallelujah.
735.
That's the type of question that can get you in trouble because if you get one wrong, you're going to get
Yeah,
them
it
all.
cascades it down.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
36.
head D.
That's what I had.
Hey. Okay, 39 or 37, sorry. I had the T as 11.509 and the P is 0.000.
So I got the 0.000. I must have forgotten to write down the test statistic. Let me see. This is on the flight data, right?
Yeah, it's still all that same question. Should be in the
11.509.
yeah. And then for 38, I had D.
I had C.
Oh my goodness. This stupid rejected null is going to kill me.
Okay, so hold on. Well, and these are tricky. These are worded tricky. I had to read these like several times.
I did too, and I'd gone over that, how it was phrased. Just,
If we
okay, I
reject
nailed it.
all, so ultimately, our hypothesis was that hold on a second. What is the question? Okay, so when we reject the null, we are saying there's sufficient evidence
that there is a difference.
that there is a difference.
Okay.
Because the alternative, when we reject the null, we're saying that we accept the alternative hypothesis, which is not equal to 0. So if we reject the null, there is sufficient evidence to suggest that the slope of the true linear regression line does not equal 0, which is what the alternative hypothesis is.
Right.
We conclude that there is a linear relationship between 14-day ticket prices and 90-day ticket prices. Okay, so reject the null. There's insufficient evidence. Now we'll see to suggest the slope of the true linear regression does not equal to 0. Now we have the evidence that suggests it not equal to 0. Do you understand the difference between the two?
Well, when I'm all by myself trying to figure it out, I think I understand it, and then you make sense to me on a question like this because it goes, I mean, we already confirmed up in 36 what our null and our alternative was. We know we're going to reject the null, so what are we saying about the alternative? And it's right there. It says that there is evidence, sufficient evidence. So I agree. I believe it is C.
Okay.
Because the question says, it already starts out thinking there's going to be something different. So.
Okay.
Okay, well, now we get into the fun ones. These are my favorite.
Oh, these are the crazies, and this was when I was rushing to get done.
Oh, don't tell me that because I started looking. I'm like, I'm not going to overthink it because it's just gonna.
Yeah, this was where I was rushing to get done. So.
Okay, well, for 39, I put.
Yeah, if we come up with different answers, then we're going to have to study this out because.
Okay, 39, I put D. Couldn't even start. What did you put? Where are we at?
I put B.
You put D, like me?
No, B as in boy.
Oh.
Okay, so.
Okay, so.
An independent sample t-test involves two means.
Right.
So in the United States, mothers who live in poverty generally have babies with lower birth weight than those who do not live in poverty. And we've seen this question too.
I know we have.
The mean birth weight for babies born in the U.S. to mothers is approximately 2,800 grams. The CDC carries out a study to test the effectiveness of a new prenatal care program in reducing the number of low birth weight babies born. For the study, 30 mothers, all of whom live in poverty, participate in the program, and birth weight data is recorded. Which hypothesis test would be most appropriate for this study?
Okay, so now that you've emphasized all of whom are in poverty, we know that it's coming one sample. Where's my cheat sheet? Because maybe my husband just needs to read the question to me as I'm taking the test, because when I hear it, it's like, oh, I get it. Try to find my little cheat sheet.
Yeah, so I think we only have one mean,
One mean to measure against.
but we don't know a sigma. They didn't tell us a sigma, which is why I chose B versus A.
Got it.
And so I would like to, I almost want to go back and look at our tests in those lessons, sigma known and sigma unknown, except for it's getting late. Um, how's your brain working?
I'm getting tired, but okay. Well, I'm gonna go with B, and let's see where we're at on the last few.
Okay.
And then it does say I could save it for later. Maybe I could come back if there's a couple I want to look at before I submit them. I want to look them up. Um,
When is this due?
well, that would be a good question.
I, I don't know.
I mean,
All right, 40.
do you know something? Well, I mean, it said it was due Thursday, but it shows on here. Don't tell anybody this, but it shows when I open another window to look at what the due date for group meeting under this assignment, it says attempts 0 of 2. That should mean that you could go in and redo this.
Huh.
I wonder, that might be a heads up.
Well, we could give it a try.
Yeah, if it wasn't B, maybe it's A, who knows? Okay. Okay, so for 40, do I even dare give you my answer? Let's see. I put A.
That's what I put.
Oh my gosh. I hate these questions. We've seen that one before too, somewhere, about the vapor. All right, for 41,
Yeah, because this one, 40 gave us the standard deviation, which was different than in 39. 39 didn't give us the standard deviation.
and so because of that, it would be a 1Z test because we knew.
Right, because
Sometimes I sound like I know what I'm talking about, and other times it's like I don't even know.
you got it. You just get yourself tied up in a knot.
Yeah, a good one.
I get myself tied up in a knot too, but then sometimes the angels tell me to look somewhere else.
Well, all mine is telling me is there's an Excel spreadsheet I made.
Yeah, but that was the right answer.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, so 41.
I had F. I don't even know what that is.
That's what I did too, F.
We're not even going to question it then. Oh, shoot. 42, I had G.
42, I had D.
All
So
right, what
G,
were our options?
okay, so G was two proportions,
And D was
an
independent.
independent sample.
Okay.
So
I immediately assumed that where it's giving me keywords like categorizing and, going off my flow chart, that it's going to come through, it's talking about proportions or
I
percent.
think you're right. I think you're right.
Oh, gosh.
I didn't catch the percentage.
Well, I went off of that, that sheet that whoever it was in our class that posted, that
Right,
it had look for keywords, and I was
right. And I remembered that, but I didn't catch it. I didn't catch the percentage in this one. So
like,
I think you're right.
and 43 I had I.
I had I on 43.
Holy cow. I don't even dare submit. Oh.
I'll submit. You wait, because this is what Group 4 did, and I thought this was really smart of them.
Yes.
Where,
They take
yeah,
turns submitting.
they take,
Yes.
that was so smart. So I'll submit first.
I'm going to copy and paste it first. Just, I don't know if that's going to do me any good, but
I'll be the guinea pig, and then we'll see what we got wrong.
it's going to take me a minute to copy this anyway.
Oh, we did good. Okay, so hold on. Let me see what I got wrong. I think I got one. We got a 97%.
You did not.
Yeah.
I just wish this was the test.
25. 25 we got wrong. Okay,
And
so
5 was, oh,
the
this
X
is not.
bar.
25 was the dog breeder Cocker
Yeah,
Spaniel.
it was the sampling distribution of X bars normal.
Yeah. It doesn't tell you what the answer is?
No, it doesn't tell what the answer is. Yeah, you're right. It allows us to do a retake.
Okay, it says any, I'm going to go with any N will do because that was my first answer.
Okay,
So
so you do that and submit it.
was that the only one that was wrong?
Hold on, let me double check because I got a 97%.
That's crazy.
Yep, that was it.
Oh my gosh. It's still thinking about this copy and paste. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it does. It takes forever, but it does eventually get there.
But if I go ahead and submit, it's already retained somewhere, so I don't lose it, right?
Yeah, because mine came up with the answers. It just didn't give me the right one.
Okay, so should I wait for it to copy and paste before I submit, or just go ahead and submit? It'll be there.
I just go ahead and submit because it says retake.
Okay. Come on. All right. There we go. Holy cow. It was any N will do.
Ah!
Can you believe that?
So, okay, explain that to me then.
Okay, let me. Are you sure? Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I'm sure because I got it wrong.
Okay, I put down a note that I had looked at lesson 17 for this. And I remember seeing that any N will do in a previous quiz or that question come up. So let me see if I can find it.
So, lesson 17 was the note you made?
Yeah, that was the, yeah, that's when I, but your explanation obviously sounded better than mine, so
Yeah, but I'll have to go and look confidence intervals. For because that confidence intervals is actually information that I have missing on all my little cute little tablets and all these little forms and stuff. I am missing stuff about confidence intervals, so that's kind of my weak area.
I'm looking for it. Ah, okay, go to,
Okay, hold on, let me get to lesson 17. Lesson 22 up there twice. Remove that.
oh my gosh, it's the same exact question from homework quiz. I didn't even see that
Oh,
before.
so you're looking in the homework quiz?
Well, I popped it open because I remember seeing it somewhere too, but it is in the homework, but I didn't take it from that. I think I took it from the lesson. But you'll see that it looks like it's the same exact question. Homework, quiz, lesson 17, number 7.
So it's inference. Inference for one proportion. It's the +4 confidence intervals.
Yeah, I think so.
2.2.1.
Hang on, I'm almost there. Tabs open.
This says n is greater than 5.
Okay. Oh, this is the lesson for the Excel spreadsheet, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not seeing that any n will do.
No, neither do I. Where did I find it? Or how did I come to that conclusion?
And do I dare retake this test and have it come up with some other dang questions?
Oh, that would not be fair.
No, that wouldn't be. I think I'll just stick with the 97%.
I think it's yeah, that's what I'd do. I know it's on that homework quiz because I just pulled it up. It seems like I remember him. Maybe it was from
One of the videos?
videos. He was talking about it. Probably just put a note and go back and
Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up.
watch it because I took notes. Let's see. Oh, maybe it was in my own notes too. In lesson 17. Oh, okay, because I had written down when the total sample size is at least 5, it doesn't matter how many successes or failures, as long as n is greater than or equal to 5. It doesn't matter how many. And the question was, how many measurements must you have in order to be sure the sampling? So it doesn't matter how many, as long as it's equal to. No, now I might change my mind. I don't know. It's got to be in one of those videos.
Yeah.
Videos that I think that not that our teacher went over, but one of the other ones from the lesson. Where I seem to recall it from. I think. Okay, well, we're not retaking that one.
No, you got 100%.
Never see that again on a statistics anything.
Don't say that. You just have to go through it carefully. Maybe you should have your husband read you the questions.
Maybe I should.
So that you can
taking my time doesn't seem to help, and I only have 4 hours to take it. So
yeah, you just got to pick apart what what the question is asking, how many means there are there any trick words like proportion or percentage? See, that
Yeah.
was the one I missed. I would have missed that question.
Yeah.
Um, and the little trick things like median, you got tripped up on that word. See, we missed that the very first time that came up. We missed that
Yeah.
way back in the beginning, and that's how come I remembered it.
Yeah.
And and now I'll remember that
Other
any
one.
any n will do. Although I don't know why the heck that is, but I'll have to try to figure it out because
Um,
any
well,
n will do.
I'll remember approximately. I'm gonna have to go to that website and.
Well, I have to figure that out because I saw the X bar and immediately thought X bar sample distributions, which is n is greater than 30. But I don't know. I have to think that maybe I'll have to text him and see if he can give me a quick answer on that.
Explanation. Yeah. Well, I guess I got a little bit of studying to do.
I got a lot of studying to do because I really struggled on those doggone questions. There were
Yeah.
some of them that really stumped me for a while. I'm so glad that this is going to be our last test because I am so sick of statistics. It's been an interesting class. I mean, it has been interesting, and I've learned a lot. And now I've read lots of research. So now when I read the research, I actually am understanding some of the mathematical language, which is different. I've understood the basics of the research that I'm reading,
Yeah.
but now I'm actually understanding how they acquired the data, and when they use those terms, I know what they mean, and I didn't know that before. So this is good. It's all
Well,
good.
I think I'm a couple notches behind you. I think it's still come together. Like I'm just starting to get a lot of the terms, like understand their placement. I don't know. For me, I probably need a statistics in 2 semesters, not one. But I don't
Yeah,
know if anybody would want to do that. So,
I I know, and I'm not so sure I want to go take another math class either. I think
yeah,
I think statistics is good enough. Good enough.
yeah, for sure.
So,
Well, I
and this
copied
is
and
this
pasted
is
that, but didn't
and
put
this
my answers in, so I'll have
and
to
I
go.
was going to say this isn't even a full statistics class. This is an intro.
Oh no, that's awful.
Can you imagine what a real one's like? Oh my word!
This is real enough.
I think I'd want to blow my brains out.
Oh, shoot.
Uh,
All right. Well, I'm probably had better head to bed. I gotta get up way earlier than I want to, but it's
Good
been
night. Good work.
yeah. Thanks for sticking with me. That's great.
Thanks for correcting me. That's great.
The few times I got to, I'll remember. um,
Well, I
I
hope you do well on the test. Just take your time, read it out loud to yourself, and just make sure that you're seeing the little clue words. Make sure you understand one tail versus two tail. The not equal to is always a two tail.
yeah, that's good to remember, and I know that I have notes on it too, but I wasn't reading it careful enough to figure it out. But
And
yeah,
have you made a cheat sheet?
I actually have 2 cheat sheets, and I'm trying to figure out what's the most important info to put on
Yeah,
one. I'm sure I'm going to go back and revise it because probably what you're saying is going back through and looking for common phrasing is huge.
right. And
You know,
then even picking out, um, what an example. is of that principle. You know, we're looking at the one mean with sigma known. Pull out what the example study was. You know, a group of women with birth weights of da 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 or da 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 da. I
Yeah.
think if you put a sample type study for each one, at least that's what I'm trying to do for my own, then I can kind of plug in and see if the one I'm reading is fitting the example that was given.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'll. I'm hoping I can take it on Monday, just to get it out of the way. But if I'm not ready, I won't. I'll I'll push it
Yeah,
off.
I think I'm gonna have to take it on Wednesday. I have Wednesday off of work and we fly on Tuesday, so Tuesday's kind of a goner day. But
Yeah.
I have some of tomorrow, I have most of Sunday, and then I have a little bit of Monday that I can kind of get my stuff organized and remake a new cheat sheet and
Yeah.
try to find a way to condense all of these little pieces of paper that have all this data crap on it.
Yeah.
Easy.
I got it.
It's
I
like,
Well, just things from the last couple lessons. The five categories. I need to remember it's only those three, not the other two, and need to make note to myself. So I'm gonna have to redo it. But I'm expecting it's gonna get crazy at work next week, where I'll probably get called in. So if I can get away with feel comfortable doing the test on Monday, I'll do it on Monday. And I'm afraid to put it off and then get called into work and then be put up against taking the test at midnight from the Boston.
yeah, that's my thing too. I'm not going to take it at night.
Yeah,
And because that was the one test that I really struggled on, is because my brain just, I'm doing pretty good right now, but my brain stops working here in about 6 minutes.
yeah. All right. Well, call in or text and tell me how it went, or you need help. Did you already do the PowerPoint, or do you need help with any of that, or
No, I'm going to work on, that's what I'm going to work on this weekend. So I'll work on the PowerPoint and I'll send it to you. I'll text you when I send it. And and then just, you know, edit it and proofread it
Okay.
and add any suggestions, and
I'm sure it's wonderful. I'm sure
we'll
it's.
send it. I haven't started it yet, but I have PowerPoint on my computer here, so I just figured I mean I can only study statistics for so long. I'll have to do it. I'll have to take a break and do something else.
The amount I've put in for studying time is just ridiculous.
But you know, the way I look at it is that my other two classes, you know, I had to fib on when they asked about time of study. I told you about that on my medical terminology. You know, did you study 4 hours? I was like, hell no. Excuse my language. You know,
You're
but
like,
I'll tell you what. I made up for all those hours I didn't study for those classes in this class.
oh, geez.
So
That is
I
for sure.
I put plenty of hours in for the units I took this semester. What are you going to take next semester?
um, what did I sign up for? It's actually it's medical finance, my finance class,
Uh-huh.
which is this is a prerequisite for, which is not a good sign. Um,
I was going to say, well, what do you know? Another math class.
but I don't know how much. I think this is just supposed to be the base, so you have a basic understanding. I don't think it. I think it's more book
Yeah.
work. The insurance wasn't like that, like you'd think it would be. But that one, I have a research methods class. I have the one by Dr. Tolman, the only one he'll teach on campus. And you can't, it's the only one available. I can't even remember what it is. I,
Uh,
I have those three. So we'll see. Hopefully they're a little bit lighter load and I can not have to devote so much time to it.
Yeah, I think I'm still debating whether I'm going to do 2 or 3. I had originally signed up for nutrition, epidemiology. I was going to do the health and physical and health education, I think it was. Um, and then what was the other one I was going to take? Hold on a second. Maybe you've taken one of these and can tell me. Um, Portal, student, who I am. Personal health and fitness. Have you taken that?
Oh yeah, back when I first went to Rick's back in 1991. That's
Well,
crazy. It's still required.
and what is that class? I mean, is it a PE class?
It's kind of like a PE fitness class, but it's crazy that they offer it online. We had to do what I remember about it mostly is that we had to come up with our own health plan, 12-week health plan that was going to run through the semester, and we had to run I think it was at least a 12-minute mile, run a mile in 12 minutes at the beginning of the semester. That was like our cutoff point for starting, and then we
Mhm.
had to run it again at the end and see where our improvement was, and there was
Um,
some nutrition with it too. That's about all I remember.
what did you have to write papers or anything like that, or was it mostly doing?
No, but I had it on campus. I don't know what it's like online.
Yeah, I wish you know how there's rate my professor. I wish there was rate the classes, or I wish there was like a place where people put what these classes are and what they had to do in them, so that you could kind of gauge what the work requirement is for the class,
Exactly.
because that would really help gauge what classes to take with what. If you
Well, and
got a
then
class that's a known busy work, you don't want to take that when you're slammed with anatomy and physiology.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I was going to take environmental health. Have you taken that class?
No, I haven't taken that one, but I think that's the one. A friend of mine actually, she's an adjunct up there. She teaches that class and then a geriatric class. She teaches those two. I think that those are the two courses she teaches up there.
And, and epidemiology, did you have to take that?
No, because I was originally from a student from so long ago that I didn't have to go through that particular year of requirements for that. Instead of epidemiology, I had to take, I can't remember what it was. I got away with not having to take that one, but a lot of my peers they have to. Like in the classes I've been, they've had to take it.
Yeah, and then essentials of human nutrition. I originally was thinking I was going to take all 4, but then with all this stuff with Haley, I'm not going to do 4 classes. And
Yeah.
it's down to whether I'm going to do nutrition. So I have to choose between environmental health and epidemiology, and then decide whether I'm going to throw in this personal health and fitness or not. So if I do the personal health and fitness, that'll give me 3 classes. But I'll take nutrition and then either environmental health or epidemiology. I haven't decided yet.
I'd probably just sign up for all of them and then get into the first week and decide what to drop, what's going to complement, and what your requirements are from the teacher, or what how your assignments line up, or what the
Right.
work. That's kind of what I learned as I went along, is I'd overbook my schedule, and then that first week I'd be like, nope, this has got to go, this has got to go, and
Um, that's a smart idea. I think I'll do that because I got into all 4 classes. I mean, I signed up for them all. So yeah, that's probably a good idea to see. so that I can look ahead and see what they're gonna.
Well, because you get some teachers where, you can tell that they're going to be someone that you can work with, and, their folders that you open up are not that heavy laden with lots of stupid stuff that you have to do.
Right, right.
And
Well,
then
I
there's,
feel like I got lucky with my public health teacher because, like I said, she got busy with her baby and didn't look very deeply into many things. Not that I slacked off on assignments or anything, but it just they were easy A's because everything became an A. and
um,
I'm grateful for it because I would rush through the reading and then do the assignments. Like I did all my medical terminology and all my public health last Sunday.
you're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, for the week, you know.
Oh, that's funny.
But
Yeah, I wish I would have done that more scheduling a little bit different right at the beginning. But the only downfall was I didn't pay attention as close as I should have to how I should have mapped out my classes, because that's why it's pushed me back a semester. I could have been done if I had scheduled more correctly
uh,
my order of classes and when I took them,
uh-huh.
because I should have taken statistics last semester. I actually had it on my schedule in my class, but it was just like I got into it. I was like, no, I
Yeah.
got too much. I got a nat and phys, and that about did me in right there.
Oh, no way could you've done anatomy and physiology and biostatistics. And
Yeah,
it's frankly, that's what I'm struggling with for my future semesters is because I know that to do PA school, I need to redo anatomy and physiology and microbiology because they want it within the last 10 years, and the sooner the better. And
uh,
I took them, what, 25 years ago,
yeah,
and so I know I'm going to have to retake those three heavy classes, and I would like to do them only, one class per semester, but it seems like that's going to be really tough to do. I'm going to have to double up somewhere, and I'm thinking, oh man, I took microbiology there at Rick's, and I swear he was the hardest teacher ever in my life.
oh man,
He had multiple choice questions that had like 9 possible answers,
uh-huh.
and 6 of them were right. And if you didn't get all 6,
Oh geez,
you got the whole question wrong.
okay.
I failed that class. If it wasn't for the lab, which I aced, I got an A in the lab because I'm very good at visuals. I got an A in the lab, but I failed every test I took in his class, and the only reason why I got a C is because he graded on the curve, and
Oh,
everybody else failed too.
geez. Those are horrible classes because you come out of there feeling like you didn't get what you deserved and it was unfair to begin with. And
Yeah, it was really, yeah, it was. I came out feeling like a failure, and that's no good.
no, that's not
Yeah.
fair either. But well, I took an Nat and Fizz and I just had knee surgery, and so I had to do it online. And so those kind of tests, you have to get a proxy for your test taking and all your quizzes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the way they have it set up to set up a proxy, it has to be someone that, it can't be a relation, it can't be a neighbor, it can't be family. You have to find somebody that's a business person that will let you go to their business and take the test and then be the proxy and log you in with the password and stuff. So I would have to go to our library. I got friends with one of the librarians, and she would log. I spent so many hours with my legs up in a brace
Oh,
to
man.
the library so I could do a Nat and Fizz. And I came out of there with a B, and I felt really good about getting a B because that was a hard class,
Yeah.
really tough. But
Yeah, anatomy and physiology is tough. It's a lot of memorization.
Yeah, I came out of there with a lot of respect for anyone that, purposely goes into that field and, they got to know what they're talking about. So,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Well,
sure.
I'm gonna have to redo them. I did, I did, I did well on anatomy and physiology the first time,
Yeah,
um, but like I said, it's been 25 years.
kind of wild. Might have to brush up.
And I didn't have to work. I was taking care of a baby, but I didn't have to work during that time. So,
Yeah. Oh shoot.
so.
Well, good luck on you take your test. Tell me what you think when you're all done, and I'll tell you how much I loved mine.
Yeah, I hope you do well too. So just hang in there. You can do it. You can do it. You know all the stuff.
Well, I'll just be glad when it's over.
Yeah, me too.
Because, it's not a class I enjoy when it catches on, but it's like, man, this is drudgery. I'll be
Yeah.
for
That's
sure.
what I feel like the tests are. I feel like the tests are drudgery. I've gotten through the reading where I feel like I understand it. Especially now that we've kind of gotten through, I think lesson 10 was my hardest lesson where I really just was like, my brain was like, wah, wah, wah. But
Mine
from then
was,
on, I
mine was
feel like
9 through 12. Oh, shoot.
I feel like, from then on, I've kind of started really sort of gelling into place. But I tell you, like, even when I sat and was doing this morning, you know, you have to think. I'm thinking so hard to make sure I'm not missing a piece, and I'm rereading it, and going back and going on and doing another one, and going back and looking at it again. And you saw how I did. I changed two or three of my answers again after reading it. So.
Well, it's good we did that. That's why we should have the right to petition to take it together. 'Cause
I know, really.
that would help me. But
All
shoot.
right. Well, have a good night's sleep. I hope your day at work goes well tomorrow.
Yeah. And well, I'm gonna wear shorts and it's not less than 100 packages. I'll be okay.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty. Talk to you later. Bye.